A really good exercise to strengthen the side of your legs and tone up your bum is your side leg series. There's several versions of it. We can lie down all the way onto our side. It's really good for you as well because you're not lying onto your back. There's not as much of a risk of going through that rectus abdominis and letting it bulge. You can lie all the way down with the arm extended or the hand just supporting the head. A lot of us prefer that because it's more comfortable for the neck and shoulders. But what you want to make sure is that the hips aren't folding forwards, you're not collapsing into that bottom waist. We want to work that bottom waist as well. So draw that top leg in line with the body, the same distance away with the top foot as the bottom foot. When you're looking down, it should be one long line through your whole body, the same distance away from your mat everywhere here. Most of us can't see the toes when we point them, but we can see them when we flex them. Get a feeling of gently activating through that core. What I mean by that is feeling of the ribs drawing towards the hips and the space between your hip bones flattening and drawing in towards your ribs, as if you had an invisible corset tightening around here. You can work with your hand in front if you're a little bit newer. If you're a little bit more advanced, the arm can come all the way up. Okay, but make sure you're not letting that shoulder lift up and you are able to stabilize. If you're getting into rocking here already before the arm comes up, then you're going to stay with your hand down. I'm going to demonstrate the easiest version here. So hand is down. Your core is tight. Take a breath in. Draw that top leg away and lift up, only to where you can without the hips rocking back. And then exhale, flex the foot and lower. Do that again. Inhale to lift and flex and lower. Now what you're watching is that your hips aren't rocking, that you're trying to keep them stacked, and that core stays active. You might even want to put a TheraBand around here or around the ribs to remind yourself to draw them in. Or if you want to, the hand can stay here. So it's an inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Make sure the toes are pointing away from you and then forwards. And then after a few reps, maybe 10 to 12, lift up and go to tiny little circles. Here you're really challenging your core to stabilize and you're working the muscles through the outside of the leg and the hips in particular. Make sure you're not starting to get the shimmies here through the shoulders. Keep it really nice and steady. And then after about 8 to 10, you're going to reverse it. Again, keeping it nice and flat right through here. The bottom leg can even be lifted off if you're a little bit more advanced. Perfect. And then hold it, flex the foot, rotate, heel comes up, toes down. Careful not to collapse through the waist. That's what we naturally want to do. So instead, draw it nice and long and then pulse up. Again, you're activating the muscles right through here, toning up through your hips. And this is harder than it looks, but if you're more advanced and you're finding this super easy and you're steady through the core, etc., you can even do it with your bottom leg up, then you can tie a TheraBand around your legs to make it a little bit harder. You want to make sure the TheraBand is roughly about a hand's width, though, when you tie it up, not too tight. Again, you can do up to 20 here probably, or until you really can't hold it anymore, until you feel it burning right through here. Do a few of those reps. And then if you'd like to also tone up the inner thighs, you're going to just bend that front knee up. Make sure you're not collapsing through the hips. Keep them stacked as much as you can. I like my hand right here so that I remind myself to draw it in. Bottom leg lifts up in line with the body, and then you're going for tiny little pulses. Foot can be pointed to start with, maybe 10 to 12 reps. Then we're flexing it. Another 10 to 12. And then try to draw circles. Here we're working through your inner thighs, tightening up right through the inside of your leg. And circles are actually harder than it looks. Or maybe it does look quite hard, could be. Quite often they look more like little eggs or squares. Careful not to collapse. Keep it really nice and still. Again, you can have the arm up if you prefer. And then relax it down. And then, good news, we're doing it all on the other side.